Everybody, welcome back to what I call Sakhal village here on my DayZ Namalsk local server. This is like the little testing area, little tutorial area I've built so I can bring you hints and tips on how to survive on the new Frostline Sakhal map. But obviously I don't have access to any servers at the moment, but I think Namalsk will do very nicely because it has lots of similar features. So when I did my last video, how to kind of get started and survive in Sakhal, I brushed over a couple of things that I think I should have spent more time on, specifically frozen stuff and how you defrost stuff. And also I wanted to quickly talk about where you can get water from as well, because a really big difference on Sakhal is that you don't get water from water pumps. So the most common place you're going to find water is going to be on cooking pots. So you're going to find cooking pots going around, and cooking pots are going to have water, but they're going to be frozen, so you're going to have to defrost them. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Also, you will find cans and bottles of drink as well, and you will get a lot of your fluid from just eating. So you're going to be doing a lot of fishing, and you're going to be finding stuff, cans of peaches and spaghetti, and you're going to be defrosting them. Now, when you find a container and you want to put some water in it, there's very few, if places where you can get running water on Sakhal. And what you can do is, if you go up to the snow, say up there on the Malsk, and you've got something like a cooking pot or a bottle, you can fill it from the snow. But what you must be aware of, that snow water, if we can put it like that, will have been contaminated with heavy metals from the volcano, which means that you can get heavy metal poisoning. The way to avoid that is to treat the water once it's defrosted with gelatin tablets, or if you do get the heavy metal poisoning and you kind of go deaf and things like that, use gelatin tablets, so like you would multivitamins or tetracycline, and that will cure you. So it's quite an unusual thing, gelatin, in the fact that it can purify water and it can treat heavy metal poisoning as well. However, there is a source of water, and these are these springs, and you'll find these not inside villages or towns, but generally behind them up the hills, and you'll find these dirt tracks, and you'll find these springs. And the first time you find one, you'll be like, oh wow. And obviously you can just use your hands to drink from it, but if you've got a cooking pot or you've got a water bottle, you can use that and then fill it up. There is also a device that you will find called the filter bottle. Let's see if I've got one somewhere. There we go, there's one. There's a filter bottle. So the filtering bottle, you'll be able to fill it up and it will remove the heavy metal poisoning. Now, as far as we're aware, the chlorine tablets that you will find on Sakhal are a red herring, and they don't filter the water. You still get ill after doing it. So that's kind of where you're going to find your fluid from. Okay, so let's talk about defrosting things. Now, there's lots of ways to defrost stuff. The first way is, if you have something on your body, it will slowly defrost. So when you find some frozen food, it will slowly start to defrost. It will take a long time. However, if you're following my hint and carrying around a torch as a mobile source of heat, that will speed up the defrost process. So you'll be able to drink the can or eat the food a lot faster. The next kind of things are where you defrost stuff around a heat source. So, for example, let's light this fire barrel, which I've already put some wood inside and some paper. So there we go. There we go. So if we were to drop some food around here, let's drop that. Let's pick up some canned spaghetti. So if we were to drop this near this fire barrel, any heat source like fire barrels or torches actually, around them there's this invisible heat buff area, and within that area things will get warmed up, so that will slowly start to defrost this canned spaghetti. Let's pick that up. Similarly goes for fireplaces. So these are the ones you're probably going to, let's see if we can light this, or it might have got wet actually, we might not be able to. Yeah, we can't light the fireplace because it's snowing, and it's wet. But when you're out and about in the woods and you've got some frozen stuff and you want to defrost it, or you want to get warm yourself, if you have some food on you, so let's take this can of Pepsi for example, you would put it There we go. Just put it near the fire when it's lit, and that will then slowly defrost, and it will warm you up as well. Then we have things like the gas stove. So the gas stove is interesting. It might be slightly bugged at the moment. Oops. Let's put it down. Because what it will probably do is it will probably defrost a frozen cooking pot with water in, and obviously you can use it to cook stuff. But some people have said that if you put frozen things, say inside the cooking pot, they don't defrost. Now, I haven't been able to test this. You'll have to kind of test it yourself to see what happens that way. Probably the most common way you're going to defrost stuff, though, is in fireplaces. So let's take, fit this in our bag. Let's take that can of pitches. Let's take this Agorky chocolate. Right, so let's run in here. For people who are new to the game, you might not be aware. So this is a typical. So you get fireplaces like this, and you'll get stoves as well. Where's the stove? That's kind of like a small stove, and there's lots of different designs of them. And hello, what was that noise? They can be a little bit odd to use at first, because generally, if you go up to a stove and then go into your inventory, you can't see it. But if you've got some rags in your hand, which I will make in a second, so let's cut up some rags. So there we go. So we've got some rags like that. Now remember, you can split piles of rags as well, and then put the rag in your hand. And then if you just approach a fireplace or a stove, you'll get the attach or place. So we place that in. And now if we look in our inventory, we can see there is the stove. And you can do that if you've got some sticks in your hand or some firewood in your hand, anything like that. And what we could also do now is we can take our frozen stuff, and you'll notice we can put it in the cooking section, like so. And depending on the design of the fireplace, it'll either be inside it like this one, or sometimes it'll be on top. So all we now need is some fuel. And I think the mistake lots of people make is when it comes to stove using fireplaces, they get a little bit obsessed with things like having firewood, but you don't have to. You don't have to have anything in your hand. You can just run up to something, gather a long stick, split it into 3 small sticks, and that will give you quite a good fire, as you'll see. So there we go. So now we've got a long stick, and we can split that into 3 bits. There we go. So we've got 3 bits, and we can go into our stove, and it'll probably ask us to attach it, so we can attach that. And now we can get our lighter out, or like so, and now we can ignite it. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Here we go. And now we can just keep an eye on. So as you can see, they're frozen and cold at the moment. Let's put some more sticks on there. So look, is he going to let us do that? So we're just attacking some. Put some more sticks on. Frozen and cold. Frozen and cold. You want to keep an eye on it because you don't want to ruin things, especially if something's damaged already by the time you find it. Also, what's meant to happen, again, I haven't been able to test this myself, is, in fact, let's put that stuff on the floor. So we've got some space. Is that if you warm things up on the stove, so they go from being frozen to cold to warm, and then you put them in your pockets, that will act as a makeshift heat pack as well. And you'll notice the colours will change as well. Now while this is doing this, you could be running around doing some other stuff, making some rags. But as you can see, if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see I'm getting the heat buff now. I've got the 2 little pluses, so that will protect me. Frozen and cold, frozen and cold. what you tend to find is, you know, a watch pot never boils, does it? So you go hum hum hum, look away somewhere else. Still frozen. That's snow. Right, so that's now chilly, so we can now take that out. In fact, what we could do, we can now eat that. Some nice agorky chocolate, that would be good, wouldn't it? Nice chocolate on a cold winter's day. Lots of energy there. That's that. And as you can see, the peaches are now defrosted. So I'll tell you what, why don't we now, we've got the double heat buff. You can only get, I think, triple if you've got better clothes on. Let's just go out here. Oh, our fire's gone out. Let's have a look at this canned. Where's that canned? So the canned spaghetti didn't have a chance to get, defrost, basically because we didn't have enough wood in the fire barrel. Now, what I tend to find is that I think the most... Oh, that's still boiling away, isn't it? Look at that. Let's turn that off. There we go. I found that probably the most efficient way to defrost stuff when you need it quickly is in a fireplace or on top of a stove. It definitely works the quickest. And as you can see, all we needed was, I think we used 3 or 4 sticks there, didn't we? And we used 1 rag to get that going. And then we've got some nice food that we can eat and some drinks that we can drink, and that will get our hydration and our food up. I guess I'll add one thing at the end of here. And that is for maybe if you're really new to the game and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, how do I make a bonfire? So they're really easy. All you do is just run up to a tree, gather a stick. Sometimes with bushes it'll give you a long stick. Sometimes they'll give you can gather firewood as well. It all depends on the tree and the bush. So let's grab that and let's split it into small sticks, like so. Got to be careful when you're outside. If it's very windy or if it's raining or snowing, you might not be able to make it. And then all we need is like 1 rag, combine that, and you see we can have a torch or a fireplace. So we craft a fireplace, like so. And so now there is a fireplace. Dunk. Actually, you can't really see it very well, but this is where you would then, we could normally add more stuff to the fireplace. So let's add more sticks, and then we need some kindling. It's already got the that. So what we could do now, just going to get a lighter, and then we're not going to be able to light this because I think it's going to be damp and it's snowing. So yeah, so it's going to be wet. So that's another problem when you're starting fires outside. Is the fact that if it's snowing or it's stormy or if it's raining or if it's too windy, you won't be able to light it anyway. Generally, you can't light that sort of bonfire inside a structure, but you can normally light them inside certain types of shed or just by the door, so you can kind of sit inside and do that way. If you don't have access to a lighter and you need to light something, you can make yourself a fire drill, or I think it's called a fire drill, where all you need is go up to a tree, gather some bark, that, so you get yourself a little bit of bark, and then you just need 1 stick. Let's gather that. There we go. Let's put that away. Let's get that stick, and let's split that up. There we go. And then we combine that with the bark, and just make sure you scroll down and don't craft the fireplace, craft the hand drill kit. That's what it's called. There we go. And then we have a hand drill kit. Let's drop that. Let's put that in a hand. And a hand drill kit can be used to start a fire. So if you've made a bonfire or you've put some fuel and some kindling into a stove or a fireplace, if you haven't got a lighter, you haven't got matches, that's where you can use the hand drill kit. So there we go. Hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully now that when you spawn in, on Sakhal for the first time and you run up and you find some lovely food or a lovely cooking pot full of water but it's frozen, you know, aha, I know what to do. I'll put the food in my pocket and that may well defrost over time, but I'm going to gather a couple of sticks. I'm going to have make some rags. I'm going to make a fire drill or a hand drill. I'm going to have my matches, I'm going to have my lighter, and I'm going to put them into the fireplace, into the cooking bit, and I will defrost them, and at the same time I'll get the heat buff and I will be happy and I will be able to survive. Okay, so hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see the same, if you see more of the same, press subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.